All right, it is 7:03 PM on Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. We're gonna open the administrative board meeting.
Because you had some.
Roll call, please.
I have trustees Chris Campbell,
Here.
John Talbot,
Here.
Jen Christensen. Here. Bill Motisi,
Here.
Nathan Maz,
Here.
Patrick Yarlow,
Here.
President Rick Worm,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onamany. Here. My clerk Sandy Maz, I'm here, Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie.
Here.
Attorney Mark Heinley.
Yes.
Engineer Matt Hanson.
Here.
Full house.
And some. All right, tonight on the consent agenda, we only have two items. Would you prefer to do them separately? We have to go through it. Number one, bills payable warrant list dated May 28th, 2024 for total of $30,425.32. Item two, outside meeting pay for elected officials, total of $100. At this time, do any of the board members wish to remove any of those two items for further discussion? I'll entertain the first motion.
I move to place agenda items 1 and 2 inclusively as consent agenda items. Further, I move that all items be considered together as a consent agenda.
Second.
Jen makes a motion to place items 1 and 2 inclusively as consent agenda. Nathan seconds. Roll call, please.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yeah.
Nathan,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes. Motion passes 7:04.
I move to adopt items 1 and 2 inclusively on the consent agenda in a single group pursuant to the omnibus vote procedure specified in the Illinois Municipal Code.
Second.
Jen makes a motion to adopt items 1 and 2 inclusively as consent agenda. Nathan seconds. Roll call, please.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen.
Yes.
Yes. That motion approved, motion passes at 7:05. We do not need item D on the agenda. We'll move to me. We're gonna postpone the appointment till the end of the meeting. We have ordinance 2404, granting approval of special permit. I cannot make a motion.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2404, an ordinance granting approval of a special permit conditionally authorizing the development of a community solar farm in the I-1 restricted industrial district and site plan approval for the community solar farm co-applicants AC Power 46 LLC and owner BFI Waste Systems of North America Incorporated, 89 North Illinois Road, Route 251, Davis Junction. If you need the rest of that pin? Nope. Okay.
Second.
Just for the record, that AC Power 46 LLC should read AC Power 49 LLC. Do we have motion and second? Chris makes a motion to approve ordinance number 2404. Jen seconded.
Yes.
Discussion. Input from the EZC.
Before you met tonight, the PZC unanimously recommended conditional approval with the conditions being the now familiar set of conditions, things like they must obtain a building permit before they actually start construction. And the posting of the decommissioning fee bond, that is an amount determined by the state and required by state law and protects the village should the solar panels remain in place beyond the life of the company or any successor companies that would have rights over it so that you can get the site restored. So that was unanimously approved by the 5 board members, PZC members in attendance. I won't characterize it beyond that. If there's any questions, Brett was the chair of that meeting. So.
Any further discussion? Yep, roll call.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes. Motion approved 7:08. In possible approval resolution 2421, I can't make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2421, a resolution approving a mobile food vehicle license to the Olive Branch Greek Food.
I'll second that.
Then makes a motion to approve resolution number 24-21. Bill seconds that motion. Any discussion on food truck license? Roll call.
Nathan,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John.
Also passes 7:08.
If you want to give me 2 seconds, I'll go grab it off the printer. We'll do it right now.
Move it. Ryan? She will swear you in as soon as she gets back, or she'll swear at you wasn't to.
You have to make a motion to. Oh, sorry, you don't make a motion. You make a recommendation for the
Right.
appointment, then somebody else makes the motion to confirm your recommendation. No.
All right, it is my recommendation to appoint. Remember your last name, Ryan Dominguez,
Got it.
as a member of our PZC ZBA.
Somebody will need to make a motion to confirm that appointment.
Make a motion to confirm the recommendation of Rick Worm on, I'm sorry again,
Ryan Dominguez.
Ryan Dominguez, to be a member of the PZC board.
Second.
Nathan makes a motion to.
Ryan Dominguez.
Yeah, appoint Ryan Dominguez as a member of the PZC ZBA. Jen seconds.
You know. all in favor.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes at 7:10.
Oh, you're not that done yet. All right, you want to raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your name,
I, Ryan Dominguez,
having been appointed to the office
having been appointed to the office
of Planning and Zoning Commission member
of Planning and Zoning Commission member
in the Village of Davis Junction,
in the Village of Davis Junction,
County of Ogle,
County of Ogle,
State of Illinois,
State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I'll support the Constitution of the United States
that I'll support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I'll faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Planning and Zoning Board member
of Planning and Zoning Board member
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard.
Hold on, Ryan, I am gonna need your signature once I fix the typo.
Second.
That's Nancy, it's one of your other board members.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
You were gonna do it?
Get him to look up.
Brett on the board also. Yeah. At least until I can find a
Got
replacement.
everybody else.
Yeah,
There's two of them.
we're working on it.
I put it out there, he reached out quickly, I'm like, oh, you sucker, you just signed up for something. I'm kidding. What's that?
Sign here.
Pass the time.
There you go.
It's a good thing.
That's exactly what you swear into, and then, welcome aboard. Here is your packet of the glitch stuff. Can you fill it out and give it back to Brenda, so that she can pay you?
Yeah.
All right. It's not much, but it is there.
You can bring it back, you can bring it back anytime, return it to the office.
I don't-
All right.
Okay. Not on the agenda, I'd like to thank the village and the members of the staff here for the condolences and the flowers for my father's passing. Thank you very much. Good understanding.
I don't have any.
Brenda?
I don't have anything.
Oh, we know Matt does.
Yeah, all stops with me. Okay, project status report, Junction Way, street reconstruction. We received comments back from IDOT, requesting an environmental survey request, ESR for short. IDOT is in the process of pre-screening the ESR to determine which environmental surveys we're gonna need, you know, whether it's biological, cultural, or special waste. They'll tell us what surveys we're gonna need to complete. But during the review process, they were looking at the drawings that Dale had submitted and, Dale was moving some inlets down closer to the state right away to capture more of the runoff. And running a new storm sewer line into the detention pond there. IDOT thinks we need to get an easement for that storm sewer pipe running from our inlets over to the detention pond. We don't think we need one. But, Dale, David and his alternative was. We can get away from that storm sewer, it's just pushing the inlets back further to the north. And basically using the pipe that goes in and we get away from redoing having to try to get it. Doing an easement for it and so Dale's gonna kind of revise the profile to change the low point and move the inlets a little bit further to the north so we can get around. Having to get an easement for that new pipe going into the detention pond. Yeah, the state of Illinois said the village should have
The easement was from them.
no, if you're gonna own the pipe. The village actually needs an easement for that pipe, and they're dictating it because obviously we're using MFT funds to pay for the work, so. We'll get through it. Junction Road, culvert replacement, all the restoration's been, completed, so final pay request is being processed. Harvest Glen Plat 10, we did follow-up inspections on the ditch and culverts for 935 and 937 White Birch Lane, 205 and 207 Autumnwood Lane. Sent letters out, all were acceptable, except for the sod at 205 Autumnwood Lane. It just didn't look healthy, to say the least, so we were kind of holding off on acceptance of the sod in the ditch until we see what happens to it. If it doesn't look like it's gonna come back, then it may need to do something with the sod at that address.
Which address?
That one was at 205 Autumnwood. I know,
I'm struggling with our side, it's in shock, so. It's up.
So, to rebuild Illinois downtown's Main Street, capital grant, we're IDOT, they, obviously, the last meeting, you know, we got approval for our 2 access points. Now since we've got that, they're doing the final review on the traffic impact analysis and intersection design study. Once we have that, we'll be able to finalize based off of our traffic numbers and everything else. It's gonna require eastbound traffic having a right turn in, westbound traffic will have a left turn in. The right turn in will be with the west entrance. The left turn in will be with the east entrance. With the turn lanes and stuff, it will require some right-of-way acquisition. We don't know whether it's just gonna be on one side of the road or both sides of the road. If it's all on our side, then it's pretty easy. It's mostly right-of-way will be with the village. If it's on both sides, then we may need to get something from the property owner to the road. Once we know definitively what we're gonna need, then we'll get back with Rick and Chris and kind of go over what our options are. And then we've also got the preliminary drawings for the infrastructure work. That's gonna be the water, sewer, streets, curb and gutter, everything in the subdivision. And then kind of a preliminary plan for the site layout for the lot that's being developed. The building architectural drawings, the layout and some of the architectural views are completed, and we sent the building layout to SDS, our electrical, plumbing, HVAC sub-consultant to start working on that design. So Dale thought here in a couple weeks, and we'll probably be reaching out to Rick and Chris to set up a meeting where we're planning to go over a few things. Hopefully by then we'll get some feedback from IDOT and we can discuss any right-of-way acquisition we might need, so. Davis Junction Park improvements, those are 99% complete. Dale's got the project manual and the drawings. He's gonna do a final review of it. The only thing we're waiting on from electrically is from ComEd, where they're going to run the electrical service for the lights for the parking lot. So once we get an answer back from them, we'll have everything we need from SDS to kind of complete their design. Same thing, probably next week or two, they'll probably be setting up a meeting to kind of review the park plans, and hopefully by the end of, the end of June, we can advertise the bid and set a bid opening date for that project. And then, last thing, the water treatment plant filter rehab is temporary filter. We're working on getting a permit for the temporary filters, so we can get that up in operation. Just waiting to get some information back from, Water Plus, the company that will provide the temporary filter, sizing dimensions and kind of, where we're gonna need to connect this thing, connect the filter into the system, how we're gonna backwash it. I even requested maybe once I get that information, probably a site visit with them and along with Brett and maybe Jason, just to kind of go over the layout, where it's gonna sit and how we're gonna tie it into the system, get it operational. So we got hopefully good quality water, during the time that the filters down for the rehab works. That was it.
All right, work committee, move on to Jen, community developments and events.
I don't have anything new on our 2025 sesquicentennial event. We do have our garage sales coming up next week, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then we were going to be having our electronic recycling on Saturday from 10 to 2 at the Public Works Building outside of town. So we are in need of trustees to be there to help, and I'm assuming Stillman is sending, because we're doing it with Stillman.
Well, I didn't ask Yvonne about that, and we'll have their normal crew. She asked who was
Okay.
on our side, and I told her I was not sure yet.
Okay,
I do believe it's,
that's fine.
Sorry, recycling.
Yeah.
I do believe that it is Stillman's turn to provide lunch.
Okay. And so that'll be on Saturday, 10 to 2 at Public Works Building. And on July 3rd, we are going to be having our fireworks followed by our movie in the park. The movie is going to be Migration, and I am awaiting the contract.
We have a contract for the. movies.
I have confirmation that they are going to be here.
Okay,
I was told the contract was gonna be emailed to me yesterday, and I'm thinking it was a holiday. So I reached out today saying,
all right, so we'll approve both of them at the next meeting. Okay,
if not, I'm driving down there.
okay.
That is all I have.
All right, Chris, finance.
We did not have any emergency expenditures that I'm aware of.
We do not have any.
That's it for me.
Bill, ordinance,
No, nothing.
You do not need the first item.
No?
No.
Okay.
Nathan Parks.
See, I'll read this. I guess there's a discussion on updated the 2021 building codes that was in your packets, mechanical code. I don't understand how to make them. There's no motion for this. We're just
There's
discussing.
not, so
Okay.
because of the way that building codes have to be adopted in the state of Illinois, we have to then, once you guys approve the changes we want to make, we have to send them downstate to the state agency that has to review them for 30 days before they come back. So we need to know that this is acceptable, what you guys want, so that I can have the village attorney send it downstate to do our 30-day timeline.
So hopefully everyone's read in their packet this list of adjustments. And if anyone has any questions or discussion that they would like to ask or discuss, now is the time.
So. I thought we were just updating the 2020, the building code of 2021. What's the rest?
It's kind of subcategories and it's the specific ones we're making some adoptions to.
As part
Um,
of the building code?
As well, yeah, the building code's there and then we make some amendments so that follows our system and our kind of rules that go along with that.
So
So
I think his confusion is, while we refer to them as the 2021 building codes, the village has actually adopted a plumbing code, a building code, an individual resident code,
All part of the 2021?
So-
codes?
while we generally refer to it as that, they are all individual sets of codes that we have adopted previously separately, and we need to update all of them at the same time. The only one of those that is new is the swimming pool one. That is a new code. But the rest of them, we already have a version of them adopted. We are just updating them all to current codes.
Is there a place where I can read what the international swimming pool spot is?
Yes, if you actually Google it, the entire code is online.
Alright,
yeah, and it's a nice long lengthy read.
I'm sure it is.
Sometimes it's tricky to get those without paying the ICC a bunch of money.
Oh,
You may have to fiddle
There's
around
a-
a little bit.
if you Google, there's another state that is
Oh.
not near us that very nicely posts the entire thing online.
If you Google it, Google PDF version.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
there
Yes.
kind of posts it.
Yeah, there you go. That's.
I just wanna read what it has in it before I approve it. Just-
Well, how did we get to these? These were recommendations from whom?
Our BNF construction, they went through all of them lengthily and sat down with me and in discussions with.
Well, I would think, Chris, you'd be able to get a copy of that from them if they're making, well, you should have a copy if you're agreeing with their recommendation.
I had her go online and read too.
Oh, well, that was nice.
So,
So, just so I understand this. I get that we're upgrading of the 2021 building code, but I should be looking, how do I know what we're upgrading in the other ones? Or we're just adopting them at whole?
If you read the
I did.
lengthy, and like, so it says in there that we're essentially adopting all of them except for these exceptions that they've set forth that we will change to be our local codes instead.
correct.
Okay, I'll have to go back over that because it wasn't clear to me, so. But I still want to see what they say, especially one I have never seen.
The codes are very kind of overview of kind of the codes that are on there. So like a lot of them are pretty specific and then some of them are very vague.
Yeah.
So when you go through and read,
So
it'll
currently we
kind of
have,
jump all over the place.
we have a 2021 energy conservation code,
No, currently we have a 2006 or something, right?
but an energy
Yeah.
conservation.
Here we go. I pulled it up for you. So our plumbing code is, so here's our state plumbing code adoption, here's our electrical code adoption, here is our international electrical code administrator. These are, so this is 2006 for the mechanical code.
But they all like.
Usually they're all the same.
2005 for the electrical
2006
code,
Way up for
the 2006 for the plumbing code, the building code is 2006. The fuel gas code is 2006, the residential code is 2006.
And all of the
Property maintenance is
agreements,
2006.
all the agreements binding us to that all expired.
Actually, I believe Mark can probably correct me on this, but I believe the state's mandating us to update them all. Our life safety code is 2000.
Well, if you don't, it will be updated for you by state, yeah. The one thing I would say, just in my experience, to put on your radar screen since you're updating from an 06 with the residential code. I believe at some point between 06 and the present. Part of the default residential code calls for all new construction to be sprinklered, including single family residential. Some communities, that's usually, there's a few elements that are usually subject to some discussion.
We removed that. We removed that. There was no need to
I-
penalize builders or homeowners to put sprinkler systems in. If they would like to do that, I think that's a great option for them. It doesn't save any money on insurance. I checked with insurance companies and everything else. There's no homeowner benefit other than safety and life that could come out of that, but the cost for all that, and the building code for commercial still stays the same with their sprinkler system needs and requirements, but the homeowners, we changed to adjust to give the option to the homeowners. So that is the only thing currently that was a little wonky that looked that I didn't think that was necessary that we adopted as of yet. I mean, when we're forced to someday, so be it, but that's gonna be a state of Illinois force or a federal force, not our choice as of.
So just a question for you.
Question, Mr. Mayor.
Hold on, Chris was talking.
Chris, no,
No, go ahead. You go first.
Okay,
go ahead, Bill.
Mr. Mayor, I hope I'm not being remiss in my duties, but I thought I was supposed to be, participating in the, ordinance codes and stuff like it, the changes, updates or anything like that. What?
Fall under our buildings, he takes care of the buildings.
I
Who?
believe I believe my minutes will reflect that Rick had specifically asked Nathan to take care of this because of his background in the building trades and his knowledge of this area. So the minutes previously reflected that that had been done. I believe you were even at that meeting in which it occurred, but Rick did assign this to Nathan several months ago.
Well,
Sorry, longer than months ago, years ago now. It's been. a
well,
while.
I asked him before if I could participate and help him in any of this. And even at the last meeting, and you,
Work it out amongst yourself. If he wants your help, he will take it. If he doesn't.
well, am I in ordinances or not? That's all I'm asking. Is he overstepping his bound or am I being remiss in my duties to the
You are
village?
not being
Neither.
remiss in your duties. We chose somebody with the.
I'm in fine shape. Okay,
I'll run 'em by the-
Nathan, please don't, contact me. Don't be afraid.
Bill, you've been in the meetings when I've talked about this in the past. You're more than welcome to to ask
Yeah.
me or to discuss these things previously and not now, when it seems that we've missed the ball a little bit. If you would
I
like more
missed the
information on
ball?
this, if you would like to know anything, please reach out to me and ask your questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them, Bill.
Well, okay.
I guess
I
I'm
just,
missing
I
what
just
you're
don't want to
asking me
be
to
remiss
do.
in my duties. And I don't want somebody partaking in jumping bounds. And Rick says, no, I'm not.
Doing it
So-
because of Nathan's expertise in the field.
Pardon me?
It was not because you weren't doing anything. It's because Nathan has expertise in the field.
Okay, so at the proper time, you'll contact me if anything has to be done.
You got it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, fellas.
All right, so my question is, let's say the state of Illinois requires windows now to be manufactured at whatever, which our building code, the 2006 building code, is changed after 2006. Does state law then supersede? How does that work?
So if the state, and they sometimes use in the plumbing context in particular, sets a minimum set of rules and you cannot be more, I guess, lax than those
Right,
minimum
right.
standards, you can always opt to be stricter without coming in conflict. But they're very deferential to what any community sets for themselves. And there's no existing preemption that would stop you from adopting whatever type of code you want and whatever amendments.
But
But can they step in and command something? Sure.
basically, they would supersede, the states would supersede what we have currently because ours isn't as good. Because it's 2006, the state changed it after 2007, is that correct?
Oh, I'm sorry. I understand what you're asking now. So, there is a push to everybody to modernize their code. So the state is given runway until I believe the end of this calendar year for communities to do something. And if nothing is done, if they have no report on file for a community that this is their set of codes, they are going to update everybody to the most recent, but that will not override anyone that is
That's
taking a
above that.
different action. So in other words, if the discussion tonight was that you wanted to adopt the 2014 suite of ICC codes, if there is one in 2 or 3 years. The state will not force you to abandon that because you'll have made a decision and taken an action. It's in the absence of action. You're trying to fill in gaps. Sometimes smaller communities won't have anything on the books at all.
Or 18 years.
Yeah, so builders don't know what to do and nobody knows what the standards
Right,
are.
but I assume state, then whatever state standards then supersede everything.
They are, by the end of this year, anyone that hasn't adopted something is going to automatically be the latest suite of codes.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Which will be the 2024 codes at that
I'm
point.
saying if we
correct?
adopt the 2014 and they're not past the state standards, then the state standards would still take precedent.
No, that is
No, you
not-
just answered that.
Okay, all right, that's what I wanted to know, thanks.
I don't remember exactly, but I believe there was like a statute of time that the state was gonna allow for kind of outdated codes or something like that. So if you're not within that minimum time frame, that they were gonna update you automatically. I could be wrong. This is what I'm trying to remember from last September when I was at the IML conference, so. But I don't know exactly, but I think there was like a statute of time and then they forced you to go into that, so.
You know, that's what that's exactly what I was asking.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're gonna force you to do it anyway, it really is, it's kind of.
They're pretty vague. Most of their requirements are within reason. I mean, minus the sprinkler code and there was another one about some electrical stuff that we adjusted a little bit, but most of everything was pretty vague and pretty in line. So I don't think it was anything
Right,
egregious
that
or
sprinkler
anything
code-
much to ask.
Is that sprinkler code isn't a state statute, right?
I don't believe it stated, it was just kind of a recommendation or something.
Yeah, okay, so the building code was a recommendation, the state didn't adopt that, the state can supersede anything they want.
But they're not.
If they wanted to, I
Yeah.
assume, but
All right.
the-
No,
both
that-
everything we've
right.
adopted is,
No.
or that changed is within
I get what
line
you're saying.
to
I got you.
follow their rules.
Sure.
I will say one of the largest changes that I'm the most in support of is currently our code states that any revisions like for driveways or decks and things like that, our code literally says, based upon the sheet provided at the clerk's office, which means they then have to go to our website or come to me to provide that, whereas we have asked for those things to all be included into this, so it will all be on our website under the same building code section. So there is an entire addition of that type of stuff from sheets that are currently in my office to public.
No, I'm not
Availability.
concerned with the building code itself, the 2021 building code, I just wanna see some of the, I wanna see what some of the other.
And I'm going to, when I say that, those are sprinkled throughout where they belong. So it doesn't necessarily mean that that's under the building code. So like I had rules regarding swimming pools, those are now in the swimming pool, like. So we sprinkled the codes that I had, or the requirements that I had in my office back into the codes where they belong.
And
So where did we have them before?
My office,
I understand that, but where did we pull them?
so the swimming.
What you have on there though, right?
So on there, it says see form in clerk's office.
Oh, and that's all it was.
And
for-
so
for
then you
building
had,
codes.
yeah, and then you had to come to my office or once we got a website, put it
Sure,
on the website.
I
So
get you.
now we're putting all of that in the codes so that it is not as easy to change or it's all out there. You don't
Sure.
have to see
No.
village clerk's office.
That makes sense.
And then also to explain this even a little further, the only thing that it's not affecting is deals that we have in place with certain contractors already within the village.
Sure.
Those, once the contract ends, will then have to adopt our current building codes at that
Yeah.
time.
That,
But that's the only exception
Right.
to this.
that's about to expire anyway.
I think 2025, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Alright. I just wanted to read over some, that's all I thought it was just the 2020 building codes, they were updating half of them. And having them we did.
Do you need this to come back in 2 weeks then?
Yeah, like, let's get it on there to
Yeah.
approve.
So could I get 2 weeks to just review?
Yeah,
that?
I mean, we're not gonna do a special meeting for this, I don't think so.
No,
And reach out if you have any questions, I'll try to
yeah.
find out or call BNF,
I'm
cause
just interested in two that I want to look up.
Yep.
before And read over before we do it. And then, you know, anybody else have questions? Sorry.
I guess I just wanna make sure I understand this. Like, part of it says that like sheds can only be 120 square foot, but I know like currently we allow 200, so like something like that would stay, right?
I believe what did we keep? I think we downsized it to the 120.
But whatever.
That was like a
already-
10 by 20 shed. So anything one who has it already is grandfathered in, so we're not gonna make anyone tear anything down or adjust anything. But anything going forward would have to get a special permit or a board approval for anything greater than what's already in the codes.
Yeah, and they had a height, was it 15 feet? I can't.
Yeah, I think it's like 15 feet or so.
Standard used to be 15.
We have rules that only allow so much space being used of the yard other than what's attached to the building. This kind of falls into that category of keeping space down.
You're reading the wrong thing. It's still 200.
Is it still 200?
So
Okay.
where you're reading that 120 is delete the following items.
Okay, that's how I
Yeah,
wanted to
and
make
so
sure I
it says
understood
delete
that.
these
Alright,
items
did
and
the-
we deleted that.
Did the height change? Because it used to be 15 foot. And then you could go up to 20 foot as long as for every foot you went up, you went another foot off the property line. So if you had a 5 foot easement, you went to 16 feet, you'd have to go to a 6 foot easement. You have to gain that extra foot. If you have 20 foot, you have to increase that by 5 feet off it. For the easement.
That I don't remember.
That's what
I
you
thought it would
said.
just have to be five.
A lot of people build a shed, really.
I don't know, I just wanna read over a couple.
You got time to get it built before that goes into effect.
All right, there's driveway.
Start.
Yeah, it's still a shed height cannot exceed 15 feet, maximum size of the shed cannot exceed 200 square feet.
So it's a 10 by 20. I mean, you can put a car in there if you want to.
Right,
so
The
it's
foundation.
pretty
for
big.
Chevy is even a Chevy.
Anything more than that would be considered a barn, in my opinion.
Right.
Two side yards.
Well,
not
sure.
even
200
feet.
Yeah.
I have a 2 by
No,
12.
that's.
Yeah,
No, you cannot.
Don't hold much. No, I'm sorry, I have a 12 by 12. It doesn't.
Oh. But-
Don't hold much.
He will tell you. No, not him. The person.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Because he-
No, yeah, 12 by 12, don't hold much. I'm enjoying it.
I hear you.
Yeah, I know, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Can't leave it out.
Any more?
Any further discussion?
I used to leave it out.
And again, specific questions, feel free to reach out to BNF at any time. Rick has a much broader explanation of a lot of this stuff than I will, but feel free to reach out to me too if you want, and I'll find answers for you too, so.
Want them to call me too? Ask any questions?
So, is there something that you would like to add to this, or you have questions regarding this so far?
Not at this point. I just miss not being a part of
You've
it, that's
approved
all.
every one of my
And you-
outside meetings, and you have had this discussion with us in this room more than one time.
Well,
No,
I
I'll be
did,
honest.
I did send, I hope it's germane, Mayor, an email to you to see if I was in ordinances yet or not, and you said that you didn't respond, but when you told me on the phone I was, I just figured I was, that's all.
Been a bit busy over the last 90 days.
It's what?
So I've been a bit busy over the last 90 days.
Oh, accepted.
So. Sorry, if I may, just to clarify that earlier discussion, so I'm looking at the legislation. And I've confirmed, any community that has adopted. A building code, a suite of building codes in the various categories and has reported what they've done to the state. Is not going to be affected by the legislation. The state has said anyone that hasn't reported to the Capital Development Board or hasn't adopted anything. Is by virtue of the state law going to automatically have adopted the most recent suite of building codes, and then every time it updates, they will be updated as well. So it's just filling a vacuum. You guys won't be subject to that vacuum because you're doing.
I just want
Yeah.
to look up to.
No, I'm glad that I had an opportunity to look back on.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we're good for 2 weeks then?
I appreciate that.
So yours.
All right. I'm gonna make a motion for approval of ordinance number 24-05 and an ordinance authorizing disposal of personal property owned by the village of Davis Junction for game time parkour fit centers.
Second.
Nathan makes a motion to approve ordinance number 24-05. Jen seconds. Discussion?
Are we
This is
leaving,
to remove all those fun workout equipment on the park
are we
that we
leaving
do
them out?
not use, or that is
Rusted.
a little bit like
The stuff that
Not
used to
great.
be ADA compliant, like they would sync up to their axles if they were did.
something like that.
Are we leaving that out then? We're not putting equipment?
We're not, at this time, we're not replacing them with anything at this time. And we reserve the right to eventually, if we find something that's awesome, to put in its place, but at this time, we are not.
The use wasn't that heavy anyway, was it?
And from what we've found out, there's not too many that use them. I'm not saying people don't use them, I'm just saying.
You'll know after we take
It's
them
not yeah.
The condition of them, if you take a walk around the park.
Oh, they're
especially
horrible.
since
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tornado, It's not very great nor safe, and as Rick pointed out, they are ADA compliant, but they sit in a bed of mulch.
Yes.
And you have to drive over, or you have to get over the grass to get to the bed of.
Yeah, it wasn't.
This will give time back to our employees too, for maintenance and things of that nature that is probably lacking a little bit in some of those areas too.
And we can find things that are better down the road.
I'm sorry.
It must be an ordinance, Colin.
Oh, they're,
Yeah, I'll
too
take
soon, Nate, too soon.
Got a barking dog?
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen, yeah, Phil.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
We gotta
John?
make sure-
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yeah.
We done?
Sorry, can't hear All right, that is all for me.
All right. Streets, John.
Brett, you have anything tonight?
No, we don't have anything, John.
Thank God.
Utilities, Patrick.
Discussion and approval of.
you making a motion to approve?
Yeah, okay, make a motion to approve. Installation and monthly rental of filtration system and chemical injection system at water treatment plant. From water surplus in the amount not to exceed $50,000.
Second.
Patrick makes a motion to approve the installation of monthly rental of filtration system and chemical injection system at the water treatment plant from water surplus in the amount not to exceed $50,000. Chris,
Second. Yeah.
seconded.
You did.
Twice.
All right. No discussion on this?
Oh.
Can I discuss on it then? So after.
Does it make lots of noise next to her house? I'll like it. It
Oh,
does.
sure.
Perfect.
Yes.
We
Yes,
don't get
Ken.
to vote.
I know.
No, so the reason we chose to do a not to exceed is because as you guys saw from the quote in the packet, that is just for the installation and the potential first charges. And so we don't know what the daily operating or those types of things are going to be on top of it, so we decided, Fergie and I decided a not to exceed of 50,000 was the best way to start with this project.
For the total project then?
We're hoping for the total, but as Fergie discussed last
Oh, I
week,
know.
we don't know what, until we get into the future, whether or not we're gonna need it for one day or for
Whoever
2
votes no.
months.
Whoever votes no can field all the rusty waterfalls.
Or they may have. We already discussed this.
Like-
Didn't vote on it, right?
Like I
Yeah,
said,
this is the discussion from last week.
yeah, like I said before, this project could be done in 3 to 4 days. This project might go 3 to 4 weeks, depending on what we find. We just won't know until we get in, and then Matt's proof gets in there, so.
Yuck.
But that's the reason for a not to exceed as opposed to adopting or approving the specific quote,
So in the event that it runs longer, we'll be back here voting again.
which I just.
Yes. Yeah, that should be part of us moving 2/3.
Yeah, that's, I'm not worried about that. So whoever. Yeah. We already have a motion on the floor. Can he amend his motion?
Yeah, so the
Pat?
motion should be amended to propose a waiver of competitive bidding among a few more.
So would you like to withdraw your motion? Thank you. And then you want to make another motion to approve the installation of monthly rental filtration system and chemical injection system at wastewater treatment plant for water surplus in the amount not to exceed $50,000 and a waiver of competitive bidding.
Okay,
You can say motion is set forth by Sandy.
That's not legal.
We go. It's
Go
fine.
ahead.
all right,
Robert rules of order is not allowed for that. But go ahead.
make a motion to approve installation and monthly rental. Of filtration system and chemical injection system at water treatment plant. From water surplus in an amount not to exceed $50,000 and to waive competitive bidding.
Can I second that?
You can.
You just did.
All right. We'll try this again. Patrick makes a motion to approve the installation of monthly rental filtration system and chemical injection system at the water treatment plant from water surplus in amount not to exceed $50,000 and a waiver of competitive bidding. Bill seconds. No discussion. Roll call, it's money.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yeah.
Nathan,
Yep.
Patrick.
Yes.
That's at 7:47, and if it makes noise, I would have bid yes. Voted yes. Just read that. Anything further, Patrick?
Water tower was struck by lightning again on Friday.
Who's it going to?
It was. I heard it.
No, it wasn't.
Not good, but it was a big one. I mean.
That's kind of got us an update.
Yeah, it's, thanks, Pat. Since we're talking about money, yes, I think it was a little 4.6 or whatever. We took another hit to the tower. Everything that we had replaced the two lightning strikes before that last year all got smoked again, actually even more. So, yeah, go ahead, Sandy. Thank you. So, which I will be talking to Matt about later this evening or tomorrow, about checking a few things on the tower. Once again, everything in the tower that got burnt last 2 times is burnt again. We lost one of our comm antennas. LR lost their equipment again on the comm antenna. So
That's LR's.
I'll talk with Matt here about a few things. Checking the
Hit
tower.
all the time and then conduit between the 2 buildings, we replaced all that, were we getting that now top?
I no idea.
Only God knows, Rick.
So.
Yeah, so it's,
This
Yeah.
is point-to-point contact.
That's our point,
It's
yep.
harder to see here, but you can see it's fried in there. That's what it looks like, and Kyle took it off. That's just the panel, oh, there it goes. Ouch. So then you can see the fire right here, you can see it smoke,
yeah, we believe we might actually had fire this time.
yeah, and up in here.
So we have got all parts on order. Pete from PDC was kind enough to make the trip out. I don't know, what time was that? About 9 o'clock?
Oh, it was later than that, I
9.
left at 9, he was still not there.
Okay,
it was
so-
1 minute after that.
He got there, we got running temporarily, ran a Cat5 cable, bypassed fiber, all of that kind of stuff, got us back up and running. Then we worked on the point-to-point Saturday, got that repaired. Kyle went up in the bucket and changed the stalks on that. So all parts have been ordered. As soon as parts come in, we'll contact Pete from PDC. He will come back down, install everything again. He was a lifesaver. I think we all left about 1 o'clock Saturday morning, but, and then we'll, like I said, I'll update you if anything changes, so.
And I believe Fred is starting an insurance.
Yes.
We'll see if, like, we're done. How much? it was-
Yeah, so. Anyway, I hate to say we're getting good at this, but. We kind of know what burns up as soon as it happens, so it's not a good thing.
The fob panel also been out there, so
Yeah.
Procom will be out replacing the panel that was also destroyed during.
Yeah.
I did authorize that.
And then we have issues with fob panel at our shop.
Yeah.
We don't know if we got hit over there as well. But we've got issues over there. So
Brett,
refresh me again. What do we run that's village owned off the tower?
our point-to-point contact.
no, which tower, the comm tower or the water tower?
Water.
There should be nothing on the water tower.
So
That's
that's,
ours anymore since the fire tide's gone, correct?
Yeah.
So we shouldn't have anything. The comm tower is the little climb up tower next to the well building. That's what I call the comm tower. But that's our point to point.
so what got hit on the water tower is at no cost to us then?
Yes, everything in the bottom, that's ours. That's how we talk to SCADA. That's how I know tower elevations. That's how I run, basically the plant
That's
runs.
the count. The
No,
water-
that's the water tower.
That's the water.
Yeah,
tower.
that's at the bottom of the water tower. right?
Yes.
Not the top.
Yes, that's in the bottom of the tower.
That's the difference of your conversation.
Right.
So it hit, or it hit. the-
So
We
it,
don't really know how it does it. So,
There was 2 big crashes pretty close together
Yeah.
over there,
Yeah.
so.
Surprised me.
This,
We can bad stuff, that's all.
Yeah.
yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yes, on the little tower, the little, what I call comm antenna tower on the well building, that's where,
This middle tower.
yeah, that one right there, John, little guy on the right. That's where our point to point and then LR stuff is.
But those things I showed you are in here, down here.
Yep.
Into our panels that are.
Yes, correct, Sandy.
but we use that for our own use. That's not used by the other conglomerates that are up there.
Which part are you talking?
Any of it.
Yeah,
Or the fry.
yeah.
The part in the water tower is all ours, our stuff.
So
Well,
not
there's
in-
also other commercial.
Well,
in
there's another one in there, but that had nothing to do with, us
That's-
in
yeah,
general.
That's on them.
That's on them.
They also-
That's what I'm
They
saying.
were also out up until about midnight with us working on their own stuff.
Verizon survived?
I'm guessing, assuming, I
Yeah,
don't know.
there's the saw.
But yes, I'm referring to our equipment in the bottom of the water tower that is damaged. Yes.
They also don't.
They're on the side. Maybe we ought to move some stuff.
Yeah.
Enough stuff.
So-
They make racks for that, you know, they're with them.
That's.
Didn't they just didn't Matt just duct tape it or something?
Yeah. So.
That's Gorilla Tape.
So I'll update everybody as we move forward, talk with Pat and.
Gotta
We'll
be
just,
something wrong.
we'll keep it going.
Yeah.
So,
Anything further, Pat?
That's all I have.
Anybody have anything in economic development other than what Matt shared earlier? Any unfinished business?
Still in discussions with LRs.
Short discussions, but discussions.
Public, you're it.
No.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Holden, can you use your microphone?
Yeah.
Should be on already.
All right, so my wife is pregnant, but this has been her question for many years. Tennis courts. Has there ever been any discussion about getting tennis courts here in the village? Because the closest one is in Byron, I believe.
I actually recommended some combination tennis courts, pickleball courts the other day,
Alrighty.
So I
but I
believe.
said we we're gonna send it over to him.
I believe the plans, the latest plans that we reviewed, we had to remove the pickleball court. Because our basketball court is in need of a massive upgrade and the thing keeps cracking, so.
The ground.
No,
it
we
is
attempted to do.
large cracks.
Yeah, we put a Band-Aid.
Yeah,
on it
safety.
And it's,
All
yeah,
right, back to this question.
yeah, so I believe at this point, this next grant focus is the basketball courts, because that's an existing one we need to update. But I definitely think that that is something for the next phase project as we continue to get grant money,
Okay, so
Yeah.
3 years probably.
maybe, I mean.
I don't know.
There's a few other parts
How
that
long
we're
you got
doing
it
some
there?
adjustments, that we have future plans for.
I don't know.
So hopefully maybe.
Right.
Well,
Maybe you'll get it before. you
convenient to Ryan, there is a really nice park on Autumn Bluff that would also benefit from some tennis courts, which would be close to his home and allow that park to be used.
Yeah, that also flows into the second thing. So a while back, so I live in Old Crossings, William talked to Sharon about throwing a park where that old barn was.
Yeah, it's still on the plans.
Okay,
No, it came down to a financial decision because the village was awarded a $600,000 grant to finish out here. So we have to focus on that first financially before we can go on to the others. But yes, that is on the discussions that we've had with the Fergie, myself and Nathan to decide what we're gonna do out there. We have to do something. I think we're actually gonna allow football to use it for some of their practices this year too, to get people comfortable, and it'll give us a good idea for traffic patterns out there where they use it.
Where's that?
Autumn Wolf Park.
Oh, yeah, okay, you're
yeah,
talking about both sides of it, yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah,
we
we've
had,
discussed that.
yeah, we've had a request for somebody for some additional space for practices for their junior tackle team. And so we, us and Parks lead Brody spoke about this, and we think we've got somebody who's gonna use out there, which will also give us a good idea on what parking would look like out there if somebody's using that park for something. So it's a trial run this fall.
last thing, so we're in the process of amending our covenants for the HOA, so the shed can still be 200 square feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We're at
What?
192.
200 square feet. The shed. can
Oh,
be
yeah.
200 square feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just want to make sure, because we're,
Right now, we haven't adopted anything, so we're still going under old rules. And
Alright.
once the adoption comes, as we discussed, it'll still be.
well, yes, because we're gathering votes right now, and we're at 192, so if we needed to change that.
No, you should be within our,
Just wanna make sure.
within our rules, even the updated ones. So.
All right, cool, that was it.
So easily we share information.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Well, makes a motion to adjourn, Chris seconds, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. We're adjourned at 7:57.